Massive breaking news coming out from Italy this afternoon that Dusan Ilic, the Serbian national fitness coach, said in an interview with Tutu Sport that I think Dusan Vlahovic is going to sign for Barcelona at the end of the season as a free agent. Something crazy to say, especially because, you're a fitness coach. You're not his agent. You're not part of his circle. You don't even work for Juve. All you are is a fitness coach for his national team. So to leak out that kind of information is kind of crazy. And the reason why I say it there, the reason why I say leak out is I do think some of it is true. I don't know if what he said is absolutely correct. Of course, he said, I think. He doesn't know, I know. He said, I think. But part of it, the reason why some of it is true is because part of this window, in December of last year, Barcelona held initial talks with Dusan Vlahovic to sign him as a free agent in the summer, coming up right now. Dusan Vlahovic's contract with Juve ends next summer. So I'm going to be giving you my opinion whether this is true, whether if, let's say for argument's sake, it is true, how does it benefit Barcelona? How does it benefit Dusan Vlahovic? And is it something that Barcelona should consider signing someone like Dusan Vlahovic? Before we even get to the main topic itself, make sure you all like the video right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And of course, comment your own thoughts. As you guys, of course, know, the way I look at a signing, I look at it from every point of view, whether that is the player, whether that is the team selling it, or whether that is the team buying it. And let's start with Juve. Let's start with the team, of course, offloading Dusan Vlahovic. They are, of course, letting him go for free. I don't think, and I don't think I've seen any sort of reports confirming that they will be extending his contract because he is on a crazy amount of wage. He is the highest earner at Juve, and he is one of the highest earners in Serie A as a total. Of course, Dusan Vlahovic hasn't started any of the games that Spalletti has been taken over. He's, of course, out of the picture. Spalletti and Juve, they're going ahead with, of course, the likes of Jonathan Davis, the likes of Openda. They've been starting over Dusan Vlahovic. Vlahovic, I think, has been coming off the bench rarely, I think, with Spalletti. So I think with Juve, they've already made a decision with Dusan that, my brother, we're not going to sign you. We're not going to extend your contract. I don't think he's been that great as well when they signed him for Fiorentina for a big amount of money. I think it was around 60, 70, 80 million. He hasn't really, there was only one season which he scored a lot of goals. But other than that, he's been hit with injuries. He's been hit with inconsistent form. Some of it comes down to Juve not playing the way he wants to play. And sometimes Dusan doesn't help Juve with their missed chances, being injured, not being consistent. So I think for Juve, offloading Dusan and starting a new project with, of course, Kenan Yildiz being the main man, being the star man, the man that just renewed his contract, I think it's the right decision for Juve. Now, it comes down to Dusan Vlahovic himself. Of course, he's still young. I think he's still 25, 26, 27. I'll be very surprised. How old is Dusan Vlahovic, to be fair? I'll be very surprised if he's 28 and plus. I'm pretty sure he's in the 26, 27. He is 26, as I said. 26 years old. So he's still got 5, 6, 7 years in his prime, in his peak, in his best years coming up. A lot of teams would want him, but the only thing with Dusan Vlahovic is he is asking for crazy amount of money. Because he's a free agent, he can go wherever he wants. But I'm looking at realistically, where can he go? In terms of Spain, the only team which I can see him going is, of course, Barcelona. Atletico was rumored to get him as well in the last 12 months. But I think with Julian being there, with Solov being there, with any other player being there, I don't think he will go to Atleti. You look at France, the only realistically big team there in Paris Saint-Germain, they're not gonna get him. Then you look at Germany, they've already got Harry Kane, unless they offload Harry Kane, which I've seen some reports of buying. But then you look at England, and of course Chelsea's there, they need a striker. Arsenal's there, that's if they continue with Victor. And then of course you've got City with Haaland, United with Sesko, Liverpool with Isaac, Spurs. Are you going to go Spurs? I've seen the reports of Spurs over the past year as well. But Barcelona is, of course, one of those teams that wants to sign him. and they've held talks with him. They've sat down with him. They've sat down with agent. They want to pursue the idea of signing him. And of course, the fact that his national fitness coach come out and says that I think he'll sign with Barcelona, it does speak volume. He's not going to say any random stuff. The fact that he knows this is kind of crazy. Now, let's talk about the idea of Barca trying to sign Dusan Vlahovic. I'm going to be so real. For a Barcelona point of view, you can look at it on a player quality. You can look at it on the value which they're going to sign him. And you're going to look at whether he's going to fit in the Barcelona system and in terms of competition around him. And, of course, his salary. If you look at his player quality, Dusan Vlahovic, when he plays at his best, and that is, let's say, in about 38 games, you can rely on him 6, 7, 8 games. Like, it's going to be hard to rely on Dusan Vlahovic to be consistent for 38 games. That's just my personal opinion. He lacks a lot of consistency. But when it comes to player quality, when he plays at his best form, he's a very good striker. One of the best strikers in Italy when he was playing at his best form at Fiorentina, the early years at Juve. And of course, when he plays at that best level, he is the best. But I feel like he is someone that I look at the fit now. Now we're going to the fit point of view, to the system point of view, to the Hansi Flick system. Is he the kind of striker that runs in behind? That is Dusan Vlahovic to the T. That is the kind of striker he is. He's also good at ball playing. He likes the ball at his feet. He can pick up a couple passes in the line breaking, in behind the switches. He's a good ball player. Good feet. He technically not the greatest, but he's technically sound okay. And of course, aerially, he's there. The only thing with Dusan, in my personal opinion, is 3 things and 3 things only. Of course, the value, you're going to sign him for free. That's another benefit for Barcelona. But there is 3 things with Dusan. Firstly, is that contract that he is currently earning. He is on between 320 to 350 a week, which makes him the highest earner at Juve, which makes him one of the highest earners in Serie A. If he was going to join Barcelona, earning, let's say for argument's sake, the same amount, the 320 to the 350, that would already put him in the top 5 earners at Barcelona. Of course, Lewa and Frankie is the top 2, but Rafinha and Lamine Yamal, with his most recent contract extension, they are both around that mark, that 320, 310, 330 mark, which means Dusan Vlahovic would be coming in potentially in top 3, but most likely and guaranteed in top 5 already, like that, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Secondly, he's a very much injury-prone player. He does get injured a lot throughout the season, whether that's muscle injuries, hamstring injuries, out of contact, just random injuries, random games, random weeks that he misses. And lastly, it's just whether he is feeling that he wants to play, whether he's feeling his best. Of course, going to Barcelona would be a dream of his own. I saw him in an interview saying that playing for Barcelona is my dream. So if you go to Barcelona, if you go to a team that you envisioned, that you dreamt of playing for, of course, you would want to give your 100% effort, 100% desire. So I'm not going to deny that he's not going to give 100% effort. But in terms of the wage, it's kind of crazy. And if you look at Barcelona, currently they've got Lewa, who Barcelona are thinking whether they're going to renew his contract or not. And you've got, of course, a Ferran Torres who, bro, he's a sardine. He's a tuna sandwich. You can't rely on Ferran, and you can't rely on Lewa if Barcelona do want to win the Champions League. The league, come on, act. We're bad. We're cheeks. So Barca, they favorites to win it either way. But at Champions League, you need your number 1. You need a striker to hit form. Last season was the biggest example. Last season, Lamine Yamal did everything that he could against Inter Milan. He tried his absolute best, but it wasn't enough. Why? Because the other players didn't deliver. The likes of Rafinha. Yes, I know he scored. I know you're going to go, well, he scored, Faisal. He scored, but his performance-wise, he wasn't at his best level. And the strikers in either Ferran or Lewa was missing easy chances. So you need a striker, especially to win these kind of trophies. And is Dusan Vlahovic the guy that can bring you Champions League? He can, but at his best form. But with Barca, if Barca get him, That's going to be a signing bonus, and that's going to be that salary of their own. Are they prepared to pay for that salary, and are they prepared to give him a signing bonus as most free agents they get? And if they do get him, who is going to be offloaded? And if you do get him, that means the idea of signing Julian Alvarez, the idea of signing Haaland in the next year, 2 years, is not going to happen, because you've committed and you've told yourself to the whole world that Dusan Vlahovic is going to be the starting striker for Barcelona for years to come, because he's not 34, he's not 35, and he's not a backup striker. If you sign Dusan, he's gonna be a starting striker, period. So is he the starting striker that Barcelona need? Personally speaking, I don't think you need him. I don't think, one, his wages it's not worth the quality that you're getting from him, and whether you can rely on his quality, whether he's going to be hitting form, whether he is going to be staying healthy and not being injured. I personally don't think. Listen, Ferran Torres gives you 15, 16, 17 goals. And if Ferran Torres gives you 15 goals, then best believe Dusan's going to get you similar amount-ish. But at the same time, are you going to give him 350 for 15 goals in La Liga or 1 or 2 goals in Champions League? Of course not. If you're signing a player, earning that much money with a signing bonus, making him your starting number 9, because he's going to get a shirt number if Leo leaves. Is Dusan Vlahovic the man to take over the number 9 shirt? I don't think it is. I think for Barcelona, the best way forward is signing another young forward and try to patiently wait. If Leo calls it a day, look at the situation with City, with Haaland. What happens to City? If Pep leaves, pull the trigger. Go for Haaland. I've heard about the Spotify deal. Apparently, they've got money. So you never know. But the answer to the question, should Barca sign Dusan? I don't think they should. That's just my personal opinion. Put down in the comment section what you guys make of the news. Of course, that's just come out this afternoon that the Serbian national coach, of course, nothing is confirmed. There's been no specific rumor. Of course, the most recent report was this, of course, that Barcelona held talks with him to sign him, but there hasn't been any sort of links directing Dusan to signing for Barcelona. The only thing that's come out is, of course, a Serbian national coach saying that I personally think he will be signing for Barcelona at the end of the season. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and put down in the comment section what you guys think. Peace.